Self-awareness is the will and the skill to understand who we are on the inside and how other people see us.
Oh, wow. Okay, there's some deep stuff in there. All right. Let's unpack this together. So first off, the will and the skill. Why did you come up with those two words?
Because if we don't feel the commitment and the value to the process, we're going to maybe do it. We might not do it at all, or we might do it for a while and then lose interest. And part of that has to do with knowing really clearly what all the benefits are. And I'm sure we'll go into that, but that's why, the will is the first decision you make on your self-awareness journey.
Okay.
The skill, thankfully, shows that it is one of the most improvable skills, I believe, that's out there. So this isn't something that you're born with and you either have or you don't have.
Right.
It's something that anyone at any point in their life can really make dramatic improvements on.
Well, and I love that you said, let's repeat the definition again. So I got the first part, the will and the skill to see yourself clearly. So this idea of clarity matters too, right? Kind of an inward look for an outward result. First, the inward look. Okay. What was the second half of the definition?
So seeing yourself clearly is like the overall heading. But then under that are two really important things. One is understanding who you are, which is self-awareness from the inside out. In other words, what do I value? How do I, how do I want to be remembered? What are my aspirations? What do I want to achieve and experience in my life? What are my strengths and weaknesses? And at the same time, the second part is understanding how we're seen by others. And I refer to that as self-awareness from the outside in. Interesting data point. You might nerd out on this. I have a feeling you will. Those two types of self-knowledge are completely independent of each other.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So what that means practically is that we might be high on one, like internal self-awareness. I might love to journal, but my friends might think I'm a total jerk and I just have no idea. Or vice versa. I might be spending so much time focused on how other people see me that I'm not working for my own, well-being and doing things in the spirit of my happiness and success. So practically, we all have to work on both.
Well, I love this. I love the second part because normally I'm like, okay, who am I and why am I here? There's some great questions. I know you like to use the word what, right? But I love that you flipped it to the second part is I could know all that as much as I could, and I could be very clear in my own mind and have no clue of how I'm coming across, right? And have no clue of how I'm really being perceived. In fact, just to be honest with you, lots of times my wife says, "You don't see me, you're not seeing me," and I'm going, "Wow, I'm obviously not coming across the way I think I am." Right. So let's
you're trying. You want to see her, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm trying very hard, and trying to improve on that. And so let's go to that second part. How does one build, the knowledge of how you're seen by others? What are some techniques to even find out like how I'm perceived by others?
Let me give your listeners kind of two overall, buckets of work that you could do. And by the way, everything that you're going to hear during this conversation is designed to be simple, practical, focused, and fast. So, the answer is not go to a therapist for 2 hours a week. If you want to, great. But the good news is that's not the only way to get to self-awareness. So to build your external self-awareness, the first bucket of work is learning how to move away from your own perspective so that you can adopt other people's perspective. So this is it's like an internal skill, but what all the research on this has shown is when we ask ourselves a question like, in the conversation with you and your wife, what would a neutral third party think about this interaction that we're having? That's actually called meta perception.